Turn in tone. We're going to talk about fast food being rubbish in the most literal sense, because Australia throws away billions of dollars worth of food every year, and fast food restaurants are a major part of the problem. Associate Professor Li Ping Thong is an Associate Dean of Digital Design at RMIT and led some research into how many burgers are being binned in this country. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jess. How are you going?
I'm good. When people think about food waste, I know that we think about things that we didn't get to in the fridge that maybe got a bit mouldy in the fruit and veg drawer, but what did you find out was happening inside fast food and takeaway stores?
Yeah, so we were looking in our research mostly the back of house food waste. So that's basically food that is wasted before it reaches the customers. So that includes food wastage, like the whole pipeline. So that's stock ordering, storage, preparation, cooking, service operations, and all the end of shift practices. So it's beyond just leftover food on trays, really. It's like the whole scale of things from start to end.
Okay, and so one of the things that you found, I understand, is the biggest driver of waste is wrong orders. Talk me through that.
Yeah, that is the top hotspot, or the top reason. So the order mistakes, they emerge as the most strongest reported drivers in our report. So when we think of food waste, we think of spoilage, but the operational issues were very visible. So a wrong order might sound very small, but when the food is prepared incorrectly or when it's returned or it can't be delivered, it cannot be re-entered to the system. So examples being things like wrong ingredients being put in, wrong items, cancelled delivery, or even miscommunication between the customer as well as the staff. So there are also things like food safety considerations and holding times and all kinds of operational protocols involved. So a simple mistake, it really compounds and it adds up quite a bit into like the food, edible food being turned into waste, and as you mentioned, burgers into bins.
Okay, so why can't they figure out a way to get surplus food donated to those in need?
Donation is really interesting, and there has been like some apps as well that actually does that. But it is very important, but it's also equally very complex operationally. So that's the public perception, right? So all surplus food can be donated, but actually it's like food safety, storage, the timing and traceability requirements, it all creates all kinds of constraints. And businesses that are donating, they are worried about actually having to bear the risk as well. They need confidence that the food that is being donated, it is safe, it is safe in transport, it doesn't spoil, and it is edible when it comes to whoever that receives the donation. So our recommendations in the report is basically to strengthen different kinds of donation pathways and different options, but also equally acknowledging and recognizing those kind of constraints and realities in operation.
Okay, so what are the big solutions? Have you come up with any on how we fix this big problem? Because I think the number that I heard in the news was that like it's $36 billion a year that Australians waste with food that just gets chucked away, and it's perfectly good. So it feels like it's something we should be doing things about.
Yeah, so like the scale is massive. So food, you're right, like food waste costs Australia $36.6 billion annually. So it's massive. So the good thing is that there are actually some tangible, practical ways and solutions that businesses and the sector in general could come together. The one that emerged, like the most, the key emerging opportunity is basically training. So we did a couple of national surveys with managers as well as staff. Staff are the key agents that could make a change. So they want to do the right thing. They want to know how to actually prevent all this food wastage while prepping and storaging and all of that. So the issue here that we find is that the staff actually gets a lot of onboarding training on how to actually prevent all this food waste, but they don't get enough of refresher training, ongoing sustained training, and that's where the strongest opportunities is. So they can actually help reduce waste if there's ongoing training to help translate that kind of motivation into tangible actions.
Okay, better training of staff. This is a good thing. Has it made you think twice about fast food, Lee?
Absolutely. Personally, I actually do love fast food, but then I'm not keen on the wastage either. So there's a lot of issues around that, and then they do account for a large proportion. So takeaway and QSRs, basically, they account for 40% of the hospitality waste. So for context, that's 100,600 tons annually. Massive food waste into like all kinds of areas like landfill.
Good grief. Well, look, you sound like the kind of person who's together enough to not ever make a wrong order. When you are having junk food, you know what you want. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. Associate Professor Li Ping Thong is an Associate Dean of Digital Design at RMIT and has looked into food waste and found some pretty extraordinary details as far as how fast food plays a role. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Jess.
Take care. Let's get some news headlines now. We're joined by Rhiannon Solomon-Marin.